Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Hospitality Marketing, show number 408. And I am your host, Loren Gray. Thank you so much for joining us as our continuing sagas go for my travel experiences for the past couple of months. We have come back stateside from the wonderful country of Netherlands. You'll hear background noises of flights and so forth because we are by the Bush International Airport in Houston. And the wind just changed and all the planes are coming our way. And ironically, we're also literally in the backyard of the very first hotel that I ever worked at. Um, it's funny to see, it looks the same, but it doesn't look for anybody that has worked in the hotel industry. Um, you remember where you were and you look back to things that have changed, and there's favorite things to each one, and then there's things that you're like, oh yeah, there was that too. Whatever it is, it's still memories that add to the fabric of your history with hospitality. In our continuing journeys of what we've been doing, what I've been doing, and going through the processes of experiencing firsthand, international travel, long duration travel, and really trying to evaluate how what we do with marketing for hospitality has such a strong influence, not just on the messaging to create conversions, but the actual communication that it creates, the validation that it creates, the information that it provides that's fundamentally necessary for people when they're traveling, when they're out of sorts, out of familiarity. For me, traveling internationally and getting accurate information that we use, we've gone through, and I would say go back to as far back as show number 397 or 96. We started about mid-March when we took off, and here it is beginning of June, and we still have more travels to go. But for right now, it is back stateside and being in Houston. And I have to say that out of the progress of our travels and relying upon the very mediums that I use for our clients and for the things I do in this industry for speaking various organizations and corporate events and associations and so forth, it's been a real eye-opener in remembering that what we do matters, not just as marketers, but as actual hoteliers, hospitality people. There is a joy to service, a heart of the servant, so to speak, and the value that it provides. And out of it, you begin to really learn from the consumer side as the guest. When there's people that you're engaged with that truly, genuinely are trying to be helpful, supportive, good service, and those that are going through the motions, and those that just are doing it by resignation of not having a job that they would rather do. So for that reason, and a very long prelude to our topic discussion today, is what does sincerity have to do with successful marketing? Now, it's easy to contritely go and say, oh, well, sincerity is a key component to what you do every day in hospitality. You want the guest to know that you're sincerely trying to help them. We all know that's not true. We all know that is wishful thinking, that all of our team are so well motivated. And some of us, by caveat being, have that blessing of having a dedicated, passionate team. There's not a weak link in the chain that is out to not provide the most capable service available in no matter what their role is, from back of the house to front of the house. And I've experienced that magic firsthand, and I can truly tell you it is magic when every team member is pulling what they can do to benefit every guest every day. Reality is, though, some people just aren't as much into it, and even people that are into it and have the heart of it, not every day is a good day. The smile is not genuine. The effort is not to the completion of success with the guest, but rather the completion of getting it off your plate, getting it because of the workload. We as managers, or those of us as managers that handle this, operations specifically, the overworked, the overburdened, no matter how well motivated and passionate they are about their job in the hospitality industry, it can get dulled. And if you're constantly pushing to the red line, so to speak, the performances of everyone, no matter how good they are and how phenomenal they've been, you're going to burn them out in their interest. We see that in other industries. We're not unique in that. Any guest or customer facing industry, and even medical industries and nurses and so forth. We see that in the news where people are worried about the burnout that is being done by overtaxing the people that are continually working right now versus the people that they should have, the numbers of people that they should have. And for that reason, we have to be mindful that sincerity is a cherished gift. But we're talking about marketing today, not operations. Marketing can lead to successful operations in being sincere. But more often than not, marketing is not a very sincere communication channel. If it is trying to be sincere in our tonality, our voice, our verbiage, it can just be on the fringe of being fake sincere. The smile that's there too easily but doesn't seem depthfully, really genuinely happy about why they're smiling, just they're smiling because that's what they're supposed to do. The I'm here to help you, but really it's just I'm here to get past the minimal amount of effort to get you to not have to need me anymore. In marketing, we can portray that in lots of ways too. I see all too often campaigns that are built that are done for the motion of getting it done. They're not really thoughtfully conceived into how helpful is this information? How beneficial is this rate? And let me give you some examples of this. You're in a revenue meeting, or you're in a marketing meeting with revenue, or you're just in a marketing meeting. And you have the typical conversations of what's our pace in the sense of is our booking pace similar to what we experienced last year, above, at, or below? How's our rate compared to last year? How is our rate in comparison to our comp sets? These are all pretty generic, standard questions to this. And out of these questions comes simple questions like, what are our need periods? They can be a matter of days. They could be sequentially based on weekends, sequentially based on weekdays. We have poor arrivals on Thursday, or we have a strong arrival on Thursday. There's lots of ways to go through this conversation as to determining where efforts are to be made in improving a situation once the negative things are pointed out. We're soft on ADR, or we're soft on occupancy, or our weekends are behind pace, our weekdays are behind pace. These are all traditional conversations in revenue strategy conversation, marketing conversations. And what usually happens is a checkbox mentality, unfortunately, when there's, ROI is the key calculator to things, or it's just a matter of saying that it was getting done, regardless of what was being done to do it. Well, are we offering anything for the weekends? Well, we have that weekends. Great, let's put it out there. Is that really what the beneficial aspect of it is? Is that truly the most successful solution to your weekend problem or your weekday problem? Marketing does it. Some people do, just simply to check the box that if they get put on the hot seat, so to speak. Hey, we turned on the marketing special. That's what revenue managers told us. They need bump up, boost up weekends. Well, the only weekend offer we have is this one, and we put it out there. Okay, well, the follow-up question in a good conversation is, did you ask if that was the best offer? Did you ask it and to look at the fact that it was a rate resistance issue? Did you look at the fact that your traffic search for yourself might have varied? Are your competitors taking more than they should, their fair market share? Just doing it to get it off your plate lacks sincerity. What was the message? Hey, we have the best breakfasts in the morning, and you don't. It's just the same breakfast as everybody else. It's prefab sausages and trough-like watered bacon that's powdered out, and you're not any different than anybody else, and you're trying to make it sound like you're a farm-to-table, custom-built value proposition. Talking about how great your hotel is when you know that you have product issue problems lacks sincerity. It's not that you're not being truthful about it. It's not that you're not talking about the fact that you've just recently renovated, or whatever way you want to phrase why you're saying that you're a great hotel. It's just you're taking a small sample and making it sound like everything's done. Brands are notorious for that. Look at our keyless entry, Hilton said one year. They wanted to be the first in the market to have keyless entry. It was one hotel in one state, and from anywhere else in the world. But that was their big toss out. You see a lot of brands that there's not a large enough sample to say that the brand is doing this, but the truth of it is the brand is doing it. It's just not in wide use yet. A lot of if it's a cost savings for us or a benefit or whatever. And things like that do happen. It's to the benefit of the ownership of the hotels or the benefit of the franchisors or the benefit of the brand. And it is wrapped up in the sincerity of benefiting uh, our guests. When you're communicating on your website and you talk about the closeness to things, yet well, yeah, as the crow flies, we are, but to actually get there driving or to get there in other means, it takes a little bit more than the fact that we're right around the corner kind of stuff. The fact that you are highlighting something about your destination that is not as beneficial as you're making it to be, then it's also one of those things that comes from the idea that sincerity misses from it. So for that reason alone, it's important to make sure that sincerity is a part of your marketing strategy. And that makes it a key element to your marketing success. I'm going to keep this short a little bit for the show today, only because we're on a 24-hour flight. I'm tired, and I now have background noises and people. And I don't want to go over and disturb them from being here at the hotel as well. I want to keep the sentient idea of what sincerity means in marketing, sincerity of our service levels, sincerity of our communications in marketing, and the value proposition that they represent. So my apologies for the brevity of the show today this week. We'll add more supplement content in our podcast about this and actual ways of determining the type and temperament of your voice in your marketing, in addition to the context of your marketing to know that you're actually getting helpful information out of the entire process. So with that, thank you so very much for the privilege of your time. Thank you for your patience in this being a brief show for today. I will make up for it next week with a more expanded conversation and a little bit more of the particulars, some of the things especially coming up that we're T-minus less than 30 days for Google to turn off the universal analytics. And that's a critical component to people's evaluation of their data processes. So with that, thank you for watching us on the TV channels of Roku, Google, Amazon, Apple. Also to our simulcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and even on Twitch. So until next episode show of 409, my name is Loren. Thank you for the privilege of your time. Look forward to talking to you next week.